I wanted to take a moment for the video today to just acknowledge Darwin Nunez and to say thank you. Because, especially considering the last 24 hours, I've seen quite a few people going back to his misses, to the fact that he's been a flop, just negative things around him. And I don't really understand that. Like, I just don't think it's a Liverpool way. And I know that's only noise online because I think the way we have treated Darwin since he's been a Liverpool player, I think epitomizes everything about a Liverpool fan. The fact that we were still chanting his name, how we supported him till the very end, and I think we would have still supported him had he stayed. But in the end, I do think it was the right decision for him to go, for us to be able to recoup a lot of the sums that we did pay for him when when we got him from Benfica, and the fact that now we can go for someone who may suits our style more, someone who's more clinical and someone who's more suited to the Premier League. So I think it was meant to be this way. But I just want to look back on some of the beautiful memories because, like many of you guys, I did love Darwin. I love Darwin in terms of from the very first moment, he's someone that you could just tell had so much passion, gave it absolutely everything. And I think often, especially in modern football, where it feels like more and more footballers are robots and they're within systems, he just felt like, you could feel him. I don't know to not feel. I mean feel him in terms of like how much he loved the game and how much he still had that passion for the game, which sometimes I feel you don't see in footballers nowadays. And there's memories like, for example, the first ever watch along we did on the channel that was of a proper game was at St James Park when Virgil got sent off in the first half and we were down 1-0 and we ended up coming back and it was Darwin Nunez who got that double, and I just like the adrenaline rush I felt during that game. That's honestly in the last I don't know how many years, that's one of my favorite ever games in the Premier League because it was so unexpected. I remember when we were 1-0 down and we were also down a man, I was like, how will we find hope in this? How will we get back in this? And it was that man Darwin. He just came out of nowhere and scored those two goals. So that's one of my favorite moments in recent years. And then of course from this past season when he scored those goals at Brentford, that felt like one of the moments where it was like we're gonna go on to win the Premier League. And the fact that it was him too, because he's just so likable, because he wanted to succeed so badly, and he had the right mentality in terms of, like I said, giving it everything, that you just had to back him and you had to support him. And I love that about him, even though, again, in the end, I do agree. I think it's the right decision for him to move on, and some things just aren't meant to be, even if you do like them and they try their best. That's just life, and in the end, he's still got a very good option. He's going to have an incredible salary in Saudi, and he can always come back to Europe if he wants to. I'm sure there'll be, teams interested if he wants to go back to Europe, but yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that Newcastle game, one of the first watch-alongs we did on the channel. Unbelievable. I was with my boy Jack as well. Then there was that Brentford game from this season. I mean, I lost it. Lost it. And then I think also to games like that Forest 99th minute winner. Oh my goodness. He was just clutch. He was clutch in those moments. And I agree he wasn't consistent enough. That's one of the reasons why he's going to be leaving. But he was clutch. I think back to, for example, that goal he scored against Bournemouth. Beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful memories, I think. And I do think we'll hold a good memory of him. And people saying that he's a flop like some other strikers in the past, I just disagree. I really do disagree, because if you look at his GA in the amount of starts that he had, it's actually quite good. But because of the way that we're rising and the standards that Anislot has, he needs a striker who's absolutely clinical, and Darwin isn't that. Maybe in another league where maybe it's slower paced, I think he can be absolutely fantastic. And I thought in the Italian league, he would have been really successful. So I was hoping that he would maybe move to Napoli. But yeah, I just think the Premier League wasn't suited for him in that way, or at least in this moment in time in the development he's in. Maybe in a few years later, who knows? But in this moment in time, I think the Premier League just wasn't meant for him, and that's clear to see, And so us moving on and recouping much of that fee, if the add-ons are met, and let's say it goes up to 65 million euros, that's almost the full fee that we paid to Benfica that can be recouped. Not almost, but a big part of it. And hopefully we can use that money for Alexander Isak, because that is a big upgrade. And especially, again, I think about the big teams, the moments where you just need that, just that moment. I think, for example, there's just certain moments where you need a player to take that chance, and I think Alexander Isak is that kind of player. Ekitike, we'll see, he's more younger, so he still needs to develop, but I think Alexander Isak is ready made for that, so this is us I think it's also a transformation of the football club. Like the moment when Darwin came, there was still very much this mentality of we want to bring in players who have a lot of potential to grow into world class players. I think now we're trying to sign world class players, and that feels totally different. As in, now the football club is a destination club, and I don't think it was before. So the standards are at an elite level now. If you're not performing week in, week out, there's no patience for you at the club anymore. And that's going to take some time for us fans to adjust to a little bit. But that seems to be Slot's mentality, and he doesn't want to be the underdog like Klopp used to be the underdog. He wants to be the favorite. And I think he seems to relish on that. So it's going to, it's a new era for sure. But I just wanted to take the moment, oh God, I almost knocked this. I just wanted to take this moment today to just say thank you to Darwin, because even though in the end it didn't work out how we would have all wanted to and hoped for, I still have many fond memories. And ultimately, what's football about? Certain memories and moments that you delivered. And like I said, I look back on that Newcastle game, I look back on that Brentford game, I look back on that Forest game, and there's beautiful memories. And for me, I'm going to remember those moments. And again, for me, that's what football is all about. And he delivered on some of those beautiful moments. So I wish Darwin the very, very best. Let me know how you guys are feeling about him leaving. If you're happy that you just think it was the right moment for it, or if you're also feeling sad. For me, it's a bit of the two, where I always kind of backed him and wanted him to succeed and liked him. But in the end, if I take the emotion aside of being a Liverpool fan, I definitely think it is the right decision. It's the right decision because clearly now we're in a moment in time where we can go for the Alexander Isaks of the world. And if we can do that, then we should do it. Because he is a level above for the Premier League, at least. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Darwin had gone to Italy. I wouldn't have been surprised if he had gone the top goal scorer, genuinely. But in this league and for this team, I guess, it just wasn't meant to be. And that's why I think we can just hold our head high and say thank you and leave it in a beautiful way and now move on, But again, thank you, Darwin. And guys, thank you as always for your support on this channel. I'm going to keep coming with the daily videos. Today, I tried to film outside. I think my hair is still a bit wet. I literally was on that walk by the ocean. I was trying to find a moment where the wind or the rain would calm down, and it just never did. So I had to come back here and again do it in kind of this boring setup. But trust me, it wouldn't have been possible to film in real life outside today. Like, that's just Iceland, unfortunately, is the reality in this country. But anyways, guys, thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, guys.